What's up everybody, this is Dave Yates and you're watching D.Why. Today, I want to talk to you on the topic of social media and content. What do I mean by social media and content? Because everybody's doing it, and how do you win at it? Well, probably the easiest thing to talk about straight away is exactly how you tackle it, because there's just so much stuff out there. There's different automation platforms, there's different marketing platforms, there's lead generation funnels, there's content marketing platforms and content marketing like generation as well. You can find all sorts of things on Reddit and on Buffer and all over the internet. You've probably noticed that your Facebook's starting to fill up with this kind of content, this Distractify, BuzzFeed type content, because to be honest, it's working. We like it. So how do we use this for business advantage? Well, that's what I want to talk about. So one of the first things we need to understand is that social media is hard. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. Part of the reason it's so difficult to understand and to grasp and to get your head around is because it takes relentless execution. It's something you do regularly. I'm guilty of it. I mean, I'm doing this blog post far too long after the last one, but I'm trying to get better. And I think that's probably the key message I want to get as a takeaway today: improve. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect. There's people out there absolutely killing it, but they've worked their ass off for probably 3 to 5 years to get to where they are today. Some people just have a knack for it and they blow up straight away. What I want you to understand is how the opportunity arises for you, whether you're working, whether you're in marketing at an enterprise or at a business, or whether you own a business, or whether you're just trying to get your head around it and build a personal brand. Whatever it is, I want to help you understand the basics of getting social and content right. Now, once you've got the technology platform sorted, and you can use Buffer and Hootsuite and all sorts of things like that, but understanding what to put up is actually most of the battle. Automation platforms are easy to understand, and once you get your head around it, you can do a whole lot of work. But the real work comes in understanding how people engage with it. If you watch my if you watch my video with Arthur Lee from the Physio Practice Part 2, he talks about how he went into Facebook and started testing and learning for 6 months before one of his videos blew up. His video blew up to the tune of millions and millions of hits and over 500,000 shares. It was massive, but it was 6 months of work and understanding and getting right and testing and learning and growing from that to build a piece of content that people engaged with. And really, from that, he's actually decided to palm off what he was building and build a new platform that's specifically targeted to the audience that took off in that space. That's huge. So what are we doing in social media? Well, we have the advantage of data. We're not only creating content, we're not only being creative, we're not only just doing the advertising thing, but we've also got data and we've got the ability to go to long form. What do I mean by long form? Well, you're watching it. I'm not giving you a 30-second ad. And to be honest, I'm not really selling you anything either. I just want to tell you how this whole thing works. That's content. Content doesn't exactly have an initiative to build any kind of preference or grow any kind of brand recognition other than, hi, I'm Dave and I work in online. Why? Because that's all I really need you to know at this stage. I don't need you to know much more than that, and to be honest, I've got enough work to keep me busy for now. So what I want to do instead is help you along your journey and teach you some of the things I'm coming up with on mine, so that maybe one day, if we get to work together, you'll get an idea of how this journey's come about and why some of the reasons I have the particular position I have within content, within marketing, within storytelling and branding and media and all the rest. So, what are we doing in content? Well, in content, what you want to do is take the idea of multiple posts and actually reverse engineer it all the way back to what you're trying to achieve. What you're trying to achieve is for people to get an idea. Whether it's I want to sell food at my cafe, whether it's I want people to start buying my product, whether it's I want people to recognize my firm as professional and as the top of its game, or it's I want people to see my personal brand as being funny, intuitive, and educational. Great. So let's take that idea and develop some creative content at that idea. Really high level stuff where we start to unpack what is it that we can do? Now, this is where it's a little bit advertising agency, because you can get creative here. You don't have to have specific content of all sorts of stuff that you're doing, and you have to relentlessly execute every day. We're thinking just one idea at this stage. So, come up with an idea. Let's say you're a cafe and you want to sell more tables, and Instagram's working for you. At least you're getting traction on it and you want to grow it. Great. Well, start to think about what people are buying and what they're not. Start to think about some of the things you're seeing and some of the culture and the vibe you're getting within your cafe. Now, let's blow it up. What are people loving, and how can you actually capture it? Maybe it's a doco type video that really captures the essence of why you love the specific food you do. Maybe you're a coffee nut like me and you've got an amazing coffee machine, and the whole process from finding the beans right the way through to running the double ristretto out of the machine is an absolute agonizing process of love and affection for coffee. People come and buy food, but they also buy coffee, and coffee's really where you do it. If we do that, then all of a sudden I'm asking people for content from when they were overseas trying to source the right beans. We're taking a camera and we're looking at the roastery and we're trying to capture the detail and the immaculate focus and growth on how you actually go about that and what you've learned along the way. You're looking at documentary style work, but you're also looking at inspiration style advertising type video as well, where you're seeing the coffee go from source to cup and how amazingly powerful that entire journey could be for you. Now, you're just a cafe. Remember, you're just trying to sell tables, but all of a sudden you've got a really cool story to tell. So, cut that up into a nice long form video, and maybe even think about grabbing key snippets, little what we'll call vines for namesake. 7 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever it is, of little quotes from people here, there, and everywhere. Now, you've got a collection of long form videos and short form quotes and vines and boomerangs, or whatever you want to call it within the social media world. And you can start to play with them. See, you can freeze frame with the quote and put it on a single frame Instagram pic. You could take a vista that you took on one of the videos and post that as a still image with a transcript of the video underneath on Facebook. Or you could just put the video on Facebook. You could reverse engineer the video and maybe go backwards. Go from the cup all the way back out to the plate. Maybe you could narrate it with something different. Someone else has a narration going backwards to the person who's telling the story when it's going forwards. Why am I doing this? Why does this even matter? Why would I be taking one idea and just chopping it up and making stacks and stacks of different stuff? It's because not everyone's going to see the one post. Think about social media. It's messy, it's noisy, there's so much stuff. People are doing this on Facebook all the time. People are doing this on Instagram all the time. People are looking for stuff they're interested in. If there's a way you can capture it, whether it's on video, in text, on a blog post, on Instagram, on Twitter, whether it's guest posting for someone else instead, there's an opportunity for you to build real preference and consideration for people coming into your business by simply creating one really compelling piece of content and chopping it up. 6 ways from Sunday to build a month's worth of content. You take that content, you overlay it with some storytelling on your daily work, the daily grind, making the coffees and serving the tables and the customers coming in, and maybe a little bit of a debrief at the end of every day, let people know how the business is traveling, what's been going on, some of the struggles to get some of the right coffee in, or the coffee machine wasn't quite up to scratch today, or whatever. That's drama. That's part of it that people don't quite understand. Everyone wants to put these rosy pictures up and make it all look really, really special and neat and tidy. Or they go, oh, maybe we'll talk about the business instead. And so they tell us their new associate that joined the team. Instead of actually talking about the personality within the business and the brand identity within the business and how people can actually engage with the firm and what that means for customers when they come in, and capturing customers, asking their permission if they can join the weekly vlog when they come in and sit down in a meeting room. They might say no, they might say yes. And if they say yes, you might get a customer testimonial straight out of the video. Who knows? But building that pillar content gives you a huge opportunity to create masses and masses of value within your social media context. And as you cut that up, You can start thinking about Snapchat filters and how this story could maybe affect Snapchat filters. Maybe you could look at a blog and how maybe you could switch the transcript into some kind of interview or a listicle. Maybe there's a bunch of blogs that could spin off of the topic as you go. All of a sudden, you're in Vine, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you're across blogs, you're guest posting, you've got YouTube videos up, you've got Vimeo videos up, you're all over the internet, and you made one piece of content, and then you had a really crack creative team cut the whole thing up really, really well and sell. But what are you selling? Well, back here we said we were selling bums on seats, we were selling tables. But really, what we're selling is the idea that I want to go there. I want to experience the coffee. I want to experience the ambience. I want to buy the food. You're selling the idea of being a customer. And I think that's what people miss at the moment. They think social media is about pushing stuff out and giving these invaluable, silly ebooks away for free, like it's not going to be of any value. I can tell you right now, if I release an ebook, and I'm writing one right now, I cannot publish it. I've rewritten it 6 times because I will not publish it unless I know that it's going to be valuable for people. Because there's so much noise out there and I refuse to just contribute to the noise. I want to add value to that. What does that look like for you in your business? Hey, I don't know. But I hope the story today and how this whole thing's come about will give you more insight into how you could potentially build a social media following and even a social media audience for your business. I'm Dave Yates, you're watching D.Why.